talking about the closings of the schools. That was a big controversy. We haven't really moved forward with that yet. We got the information from the company that we asked to do to grab the numbers for us, to give us a plan of, whatever they look like, but we haven't moved forward with it yet. We haven't sat down and said, okay, this is what the numbers look like, this is where we should go with it. We haven't done that yet. We've got the budget and everything else, taking up a lot of our time.
So you actually had a study done about the properties and buildings there? So you had somebody
Yes. Yep, the numbers, like the students enrolled in the buildings,
Yep.
and what that picture looked like in each district.
outside company came in and looked it over and gave you a
Yep.
better opinion?
Yep.
Very good.
Let me just clarify.
I'm sure I did.
No, sorry, doing fine.
No.
No, what we hired planning decisions to do an enrollment projection for 10 years,
Yep.
so that we know, we didn't want to make any mistakes in the 10-year facility plan that we're developing with the board. And we were rather surprised. It was good news. The 10-year projections show us in 10 years from now, our enrollment's actually coming back up
Really?
throughout the RSU. So, but that's as long as everything stays the same. So that was very good for us to see, and I think that's what really slowed down, the talks of closing schools. Not that we won't talk about our numbers, and we will discuss options.
What we've been discussing is Derigo wanting to leave the RSU. From what I understand, they're not planning on leaving, they're planning on, here comes just being here with us.
I just left the withdrawal committee meeting at Dixfield before I came here tonight. And one thing that I've tried to emphasize and get in the papers is, right from the beginning, I've said any agreement has to impact all the towns in the RSU and all the schools the same way. So, basically it's going to be tied to our 10-year facility plan. And we've already agreed as a board that each region will maintain some semblance of a high school. And, unless way down the road, 13 years plus, that we were to be fortunate enough to build a new regional high school. But every time I talk to the state, it's even further and further down the road. Even to be considered, I think it's 13 years. And then you have to have good reason. Our facilities are well maintained. We're not in a desperate situation where we need to close a facility. And so when it comes to being approved for a new building, whether it's elementary or secondary, you've got to have really strong reasons to be approved. And the list now with the state just keeps getting longer. People are much worse off than RSU 10. So I don't want to say, that down the road, this is going to happen. It's something that could happen, but it's a long way off.
Now, I'll get you on here. I don't think, this is an out of line ask. Were any promises made to this Dixfield group about keeping the high school open? Or is that kind of an open-ended?
Well, that's what this agreement will be, as I said, whatever we agree to in the Derigo region will be agreed to in the other regions.
All towns are on it?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't tie your hands, you don't think?
There's supposed to be language in there that you can't tie the hands of the board. And this is why it's been difficult to come up with an agreement. And that doesn't tie the hands of the board or future boards. And at the same time, gives people in our communities a feeling that there is some binding language in this, such as, and my point has been, if the board approves the 10-year facility plan that says we will maintain some semblance of a high school in each region, And that's pretty solid.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's safe.
So, right now, the RSU's attorney developed a plan, and now it's the town of Dixfield's attorney is just tweaking it. Basically trying to put in language that, is a little more binding, and that's where they're at. Yeah, but I think, after tonight we'll know more.
I think if I could just finish this point, that's where I was somewhat concerned. I brought this point to this board before, and Frank was here at a meeting and talked about it, was negotiating with the withdrawal committee before they decided to withdraw. I wondered the precedent that might set for other towns. Not that it's Dixfield, it doesn't matter what town it is, but what precedent that might set for another town that may have an issue with the RSU, have a preliminary vote to withdraw, and then come to the RSU and say, well, can we negotiate this point specifically to keep us in the fold? And I think that we all know that it's the keeping Deerfield High School open, which was the impetus for this withdrawal committee. And that's why I asked, does this tie your hands? Because if it does come to a point that that's the best thing to do for the whole region is what you do, that you can't take one town over another town.
Right.
In any issue, in any town. So.
My position on all of this has been that when a town goes as far as to do the petition, and then the voters approve to go through the process, that's when I need to come in with the actual facts, so they are making an informed decision. And I think that's what's worked well with Dixfield is I came in with the facts, and they saw what they were and what the realities were, and decided that the best way for them to go, and I'm the one that recommended that, instead of following through with this and seeing if you have the votes to do it, and you have these facts, then and that you can't move forward without the other original towns in SAD 21, then you should work with the board and just come up with something. And that's what we'll do with any other town that reaches that point. I think it's good for the town because it saves them money. They're not, the town of Dixfield didn't have to spend the $50,000 they thought they were going to. That benefits everybody. And my bottom line is, to give people the facts. And I know that, and I understand they have to go through the process so they know, and they can put it to rest. And then it never comes back again. That's my main issue.